Hello dear World of Warcraft friends, welcome back to another video. Today we're dealing with a rather unpleasant topic. Anyone who has been following me for a while knows that I absolutely hate setting up anything related to the interface with a passion I can't even describe. And on the other hand, I find the standard UI of World of Warcraft really bad. So at some point, I just can't avoid using interface add-ons to make everything look a bit nicer. Now, unfortunately, we have a very odd situation. A very popular add-on is no longer being developed because the developer released a bad update and was insulted and even threatened by the community. And now, if you make the same mistake as I did and still download the update, there's a high chance your entire UI will be messed up and so on. I'll show you how you can restore it, and more importantly, how you can avoid this whole situation from happening in the first place. Alright, let's dive into this wonderful topic. It only cost me a few frayed nerves. It's about unhaunted unit frames. If you want to support me, if you want to help me out, whatever it is, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. And the problem with this whole thing is also that Blizzard's own interface is so damn buggy that sometimes, even if you just use simple Blizzard elements like here, you save some random Blizzard stuff and everything gets messed up. It's so incredibly annoying. I hate the Blizzard interface, really, and now some people will say, yeah, then just don't use any add-ons, then you won't have these bugs. That would be the simple solution. But there are 27,000 add-on developers who themselves say these errors don't come from their add-ons, but because Blizzard's UI is so buggy. And in this case, I tend to believe those people. But anyway, what happened with Unhaunted unit frames? A version for patch 12.1 was released and you shouldn't download it. I managed to ignore the whole thing the entire time. Until I stupidly clicked the update all button in my add-ons at some point. And in the end, that led me to download this disastrous update. So just leave it on the version for 12.0 or something like that. But you shouldn't download version 12.1 because what happens then is pretty simple. It completely messes up your entire interface scaling. This is it right here. That gets completely reset. And for me, it was like all the icons, texts, boxes, and so on were the size of my dick. So microscopically small. Accordingly, you had to reset all that stuff somehow. And here as well, it was torture. I would recommend you do this here. You type /UF for unhaunted unit frames. Enable UI scale, and then adjust it here in tiny increments. For example, I have a few points, like here with the chat window. As soon as I press enter, the lower part of it touches the edge of my screen. But this context icon also has to be visible at the same time. That means 0.65 meets the criteria and is therefore the correct scaling. Nevertheless, it's super annoying. And yes, for exactly this update, Unhalted, the creator of this add-on, was heavily harassed. It was honestly absolutely absurd. And that's when he wrote all of this here. He will not continue to update Unhalted unit frames. The whole thing was an experience for him that really opened his eyes. And the level of hate and abuse he received for this faulty update is nothing he wants to deal with anymore. And yeah, to be honest, I totally agree with him. Someone sits down and writes an add-on in their free time. One that was really good, and one that gave you a lot of options compared to the normal Blizzard UI. And I'm telling you, this is a good example of how much of an asshole the WoW community can be sometimes. People think, especially those, no, I won't say that now, but a lot of people just think they're not toxic and that they're just the coolest people ever. And at the same time, someone gets absolutely torn apart. I think that's really unfortunate. And just something. And thank you. It's not cool, it's definitely not cool, but well, he made his decision and accordingly decided for himself that he's not going along with this whole thing any longer. Like I said, I can totally understand it in some way. I wouldn't want to do it either. But yeah, what can you do in the end? He also thanked everyone who stood up for him and showed patience with him, and he also said at the end again that add-on developers do all this for fun. They're not making millions. Many of the add-on developers have other jobs on the side. The add-ons are free to use. And so, yeah, it's definitely possible that problems and other issues can come up. Again, yes, people make mistakes. It happens. I'm really sorry that he was attacked like that. And as it's written here as well, add-on developers end up doing Blizzard's work to a higher standard and for free, and for that, they still get attacked like that. It's really sad, and I would totally agree with that at this point. So, as I said, you shouldn't install this 12.1 version, otherwise everything could get messed up for you. I also still have the issue that, for example, I get these buff icons here and I have no idea where they come from, which really gets on my nerves. If any of you know where, why, or how I can get rid of this, feel free to write it in the comments. It's definitely really annoying me, but that's not all. There's also the problem if you have version 12.1, you can see that on my second channel. There will be a few videos in the next few days where I get really annoyed. For example, when my player frames disappear here, the target frames disappear, and when I log onto an alt, none of it carries over, etc, etc. So it's really a wonderful thing, which is a lot of fun. So this version is really completely messed up. It doesn't save any profiles and just causes problems. Yes. But the thing is, what do you do now if you've at least managed to get the scaling right, but these other problems remain? For that, you go into your CurseForge add-on manager, at least that's the one I use, so I know how it works. You go to my add-ons, look for the corresponding interface add-on, in this case Unhalted Unit Frames, and click on Versions. And here you'll find all the versions that have been uploaded for this add-on. Right now, I'm on version 12.0 plus 3. Yeah. That was the last one that worked normally for me. Everything with these 12.1 versions, I tried everything one by one from the top. There were still things in there that weren't stable for me, so I'm just skipping these 12.1 versions completely. You just click on install, the old one will be removed, and that's it. Another thing you can do, for example, if you have other issues like I do with these buff bars, is test what's causing them. We'll just turn off unhalted unit frames now, and you basically do troubleshooting by deactivating one add-on after another and seeing when these symbols stop appearing. And here we can already see these symbols are coming from my unhalted unit frames. So we know, in this case, it's because of the add-on. Now I just have to fight my way through the settings a bit. And as soon as I find it, hopefully we can turn it off. So yeah, it's really an absolute clusterfuck. At this point, I actually have to see whether I might just get myself a new interface add-on, like a unit frame add-on. Aber I can't really say that at this point. I can't really answer that yet. It's extremely annoying and I have no idea. I'm absolutely not enjoying it at all right now. But well, what can you do? With that, I think I was able to show you one or two things at this point. If you like the whole thing, then please leave a like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. And then, yeah, see you again in the next video. In the meantime, I'll look again for how to make this totem display go away. Let's see, actually that should be a buff, right? Then I say I have no idea. Thank you very much, I have no idea at this point. That's it? No. Let's leave it at that, otherwise I'll just get even more upset. With that, see you in the next video. Have a good time and take care.